Hi, Chris Moore, and today we're going to talk about annuities, and we're going to go through all the different types of annuities. And so this might put you to sleep, but it's just so that you can have a basic understanding of when somebody says annuity, you need to ask a question about what type of annuity that they are talking about. The first one we're going to talk about is immediate annuity. It's basically where you give a chunk of cash to an insurance company and they provide you an income stream, whether it be based on life or guaranteed. Once you give them the money, after a very short period of time, you cannot get your money back except as an income stream. That's an immediate annuity. Many refer to them as SPIAs. The second type of annuity we're going to talk about is what's called a fixed annuity. So a fixed annuity is more like an investment. It's really like a CD. You give the insurance company a chunk of money. They usually pay you a fixed rate of interest. They might pay a bonus up front, so be careful when you're looking at fixed annuities. But there is a stated interest rate and a guaranteed minimum interest rate, and that's really on those. You can't lose money unless you surrender, or let's say you signed up for a 7-year period and you decide that you want your money back before the 7 years. You could technically lose a surrender charge. There's also what is called a market value adjustment. That's where the bonds inside, interest rates go the wrong way and create a negative market adjustment, and you surrender it before the surrender period. You might get hit with a market value adjustment. But that is a fixed annuity. The third type of annuity we're going to talk about is a fixed index annuity. It's very similar to the fixed annuity, except the interest you get is variable. It is usually tied to some indicator, and it may have a cap. So for an example, let's say you buy a fixed annuity that's tied to the S&P 500. It's usually capped, so let's say it's capped at 5%. If the S&P 500 from the beginning point to the contract date for one full year earns 15%, you would receive 5% interest credit. Let's say that if during the same period it lost 5%, you would be credited 0, and then let's say it earned 2%, you would get credited 2%. So up to the cap. That's how usually they've got some other things, crediting methods with fixed index annuities. They usually come up they're on 1-year periods. So those are the things you need to know about fixed index annuities. Okay, so the fourth type of annuity we're going to talk about is a structured annuity. They're one of the more recently developed kinds of annuities. They're usually tied to some index. They have higher caps than a fixed index annuity, and because there's a possibility you could actually lose money in them over a period of time, so you've kind of got to understand on how those work. They're usually tied into periods of time where they're looking at the index, usually whether it's on an annual basis or a 3-year basis or a 6-year basis, and what you want to be aware of is usually they have caps. They may also have a floor or what they call a buffer. A buffer is where the insurance company will eat a certain portion of the down. They'll have a participation rate, so if the index is up X, maybe you get 80% of it. They may also have a cap, so lots of moving parts. So if you're thinking about a structured annuity, you want to make sure you take some time and look at all the moving parts and make sure it's in your best interest. We've made it to variable annuities. As you can see, it's the fifth type. I kind of ranked them in risk order. So as you go down, the risk of loss goes up and risk of growth goes up. A variable annuity is an investment with an insurance company. Usually they buy mutual funds inside of the wrapper, and you're investing in mutual funds that go up and down. And so if they go up, you get whatever the mutual funds get, or if they go down, you get whatever happens with, they call them sub-accounts, but they're very similar to mutual funds, all in an insurance wrapper. What makes them popular and why people may buy a variable annuity is they have living benefits, or they have guaranteed lifetime income streams. And those are the things that pretty much are when somebody buys a variable annuity. With qualified money, it's about an income stream. If you have non-qualified money or not tax preference, you get tax deferral. So maybe that's why somebody might want to buy a variable annuity with non-qualified dollars, because they don't want to pay tax on it now. They want to pay tax on it later. The problem is when you pay tax on it later, it's ordinary income. Anyways, it's a variable annuity. Have lots of different sub-accounts inside. They have guarantees. Very complex. You're going to want to go and have an advisor that goes over it with you, probably reviews it with you for as long as you hold that variable annuity. Okay, so now we've discussed, now when somebody says annuity, you can say, hey, what type do you have? And then that'll give you an idea of kind of what they're having. What I thought would be helpful is also to tell you what kind of licenses you need to sell certain annuities. So now you decided to buy an annuity, right? Let me kind of tell you what I do on a review schedule. Okay, so when you buy it from an advisor, you might want to ask them, immediate annuity, really no reason to meet with. They sell it to you once they need it. You got an income stream. There's not much an advisor could do. Once you have it, I usually don't. I've never sold one, but if I did, I probably would have no reason for that particular investment to do a review. A fixed annuity. So usually I get they just pay interest. If it's got some variability to it, like the bonus goes down, I usually would have that on a 1-year review cycle. Just a call, hey, how's it doing? Yep, looks like it's going to pay this interest. Hey, is it coming towards its end? What do you want to do? So an annual review. A fixed index is the same thing, but more I would get to most everybody that has a fixed index annuity with me, I review annually because you can usually change your crediting methods. And so you've got to do that either right before it pays interest or right after, and you change your crediting methods for the next year, and so that requires a review. Structured annuities. So structured annuities, I get together a little bit more. Sometimes you can do stuff during the middle of the year, maybe lock it in, do some other things like that. So maybe at a minimum annually. In general, I like to do a quarterly or semi-annual review for that, just to make sure it's doing what we wanted. A variable annuity is on the same thing. I like to get annual is probably not frequent enough. I usually like to do it semi-annual or quarterly, just to see if we had to make any changes to it. And so that's what my review schedule is for these particular type of products. So thanks for watching today. Hope you found it interesting. If you're considering purchasing any of these or you have questions, my advice is always seek out a financial advisor. They should be happy to help you and answer your questions. The one thing you'd want to do, most of these products are commission-based, so you'd want to find somebody who is like a hybrid advisor that may do fee-based and commission-based because they'd be more familiar. A fee-based person should understand how these works. And so you could ask them, but somebody who sells it and gets a commission for it might be a better source, but a financial advisor. Thanks.